He's Gary Danielson, CBS Sports college football analyst, kind enough to join us on the program. What did you expect last night, Gary?
How about this headline? Tempo this.
Tempo this.
Yeah, tempo this. I mean, if you can't block and tackle, what's the thing of hurrying up and running a snap? I mean, Ohio State, they bum rushed them. Come on, they blocked them. It was almost. I've never really seen anything like that. That was old time football, and as good as you. It was like the Washington Redskins were running counter OT and power O the whole night. That was something. That was a butt kicking right there.
How about urban renewal?
There's a good one. You're creative. That's why you got the big show, I think.
But I was also thinking about this one.
But, I mean, I don't know. Ohio State's been pretty darn good. I mean, they won the national championship in '02. In '06, you know, they had a kind of a quirky game plan against Florida. They played for the national championship. In '07, I did that game on radio. They dropped 2 touchdown passes, and they were playing LSU in LSU's home field. It's not like Jim Tressel did not have good football players at Ohio State.
But this is the Urban Meyer renewal of him, you know, leaving Florida.
I'm just saying he didn't take over Kansas State. There is a reason he left the job and took the ridicule a little bit that he got because he did know it was Ohio State. Pretty good football players.
All right, this is supposed to be a different type of Oregon style, that it was more physical, that they were lauded for the way that they were more physical.
I ain't buying it.
Okay, is this style conducive to winning a national championship? Can it win a national championship?
Oh, sure, they could have won. Yeah, okay. I mean, they could have won. I think it's a style, but it's you have to go all in, and it's not a guarantee. I mean, just because you trick them a little bit. I had the feeling. I think I once said this to you when Alabama was steamrolling Georgia in the SEC championship game that one year. They were lining up, blocking them. The Georgia players were looking over to the sideline, and Todd Grantham and Mark Richt were going, "What are you looking at us for? They're kicking your butt. We got nothing for you." Yeah. Basically, you're getting manhandled. Now, there are oftentimes, that tempo thing when it gets rolling, that can frustrate you. But I sometimes look at it the opposite way. I thought in this game, Oregon was looking to the sideline and going, "Coach, they're lining up right. They're not confused. They're tackling us. Give us something." And there was nothing to give. And I thought the tempo in the third quarter that Oregon tried to do, I thought the key part of the game, when they came back 21-20 on a one-play touchdown and a field goal, and Ohio State went on a 12-play drive, and Oregon tried to tempo back. They only had the ball for a minute 4 plays. Ohio State came back out and faced a tired defense, ran 9 more plays, and the game was basically over.
He's Gary Danielson from CBS joining us, Dan Patrick Show. What do you do if you're Cardale Jones?
It's interesting. Cardale is right now older than I was when I graduated from Purdue in college. It's a different kind of style. He went away for a year to, I think, Fort Union Military Academy, redshirted. He's a man, basically. I don't know if it's any different than a baseball team seeing a prospect that can throw a 100-mile-an-hour fastball and going, you know what, let's take this guy. Let's stick him on our roster somewhere, or a 7-foot center in the NBA and say, let's stick him on the end of our bench here, and someday he may be the one. I'll tell you what, looking at Marcus Mariota is just as big a risk as Cardale Jones is to play at the next level. I don't know which one will be good. Nobody knows. I obviously, it's hard to pick quarterbacks. Tom Brady's a perfect example, but boy, which one would you take 3 years from now? Are you sure about either one? I would.
No, but I don't know if Cardale Jones is going to be the kid that was in preseason in training camp who weighed 270, was out of shape,
right?
And on a road. I thought Urban was going to run him out of town. Didn't want him on the team.
Yes, and it works in the right direction or it doesn't. But I thought a can't-miss prospect for me was Joey Harrington. I saw him play. He was as good a person as you've ever been around. Mm-hmm. He was 6'4", great leader, clutch player. It didn't work. There's just no guarantees. That's why you got to keep stockpiling when there's a quarterback there. You got to take him. I do think this. I don't see any big need of why he needs to go back and run the quarterback draw again. I think he's proven he can do that in college.
Well, I was wondering about this, that I could see Jones going pro, Braxton Miller coming back for one more year, and J.T. Barrett as his backup.
Yeah. Well, they were stockpiling. They thought Braxton might turn pro after last year. You could tell that there was a plan in place to have these guys, and they were both good football players. I do think Ohio State was a little bit better. I hate to say this to JT because he had a great year, but when they had Cardell instead of JT, they dropped the finesse quarterback runs and said, guys, we're going to run the ball off tackle, and we're going to go to Zeke Elliott, and we're going to throw play-action pass plays. They simplified it. They got physical, and they were a much different style team than they were with J.T. Barrett.
Yeah, I'm just not sure with Jones if he is Jamarcus Russell or Dante Culpepper.
No, I don't either.
Yeah.
I don't. Or is he Cam Newton? Because that's who he looked like with the arm and the quarterback draws. I mean, I think the people who are – obviously, he does not have enough experience now to play in the NFL. We all know that, okay? I mean, but do you project what he could be? You know, if you're in the third or fourth round and you're looking at him and say, well, let's take him and stick him at the end of our bench and see what happens in 3 years.
Yeah, but if that was the case, then I would stay if I were him, give you another season, and then you move up into the first round. I don't think you leave to be a fourth-round draft pick, but I think you leave if you're going to be a first- or second-round pick.
Unless you just want to play NFL football, and, that's just what your life decision is. I mean, I've all said on your show many, many times, I mean, Cardell was right. He was the guy that tweeted out a long time ago saying, kind of a pain to have to go to class here. I'm here to play football.
Hey, I said the same thing. It just nobody listened to me when I was doing it. Great month for the Big Ten.
It was.
It really was.
It was. I put this down. I thought the big winner last night obviously was Urban Meyer. Okay, number one, and Ohio State. But the Big Ten, number two, they're about to go into a new negotiation for their TV rights. Jim Harbaugh comes back. Penn State's getting better, and the sanctions are leaving. Michigan State's not going away. Wisconsin's not going away. The league is going to be very attractive, and basically what Ohio State did was run Stanford's blueprint of how to play against Oregon. You have to be physical with them, and Jim Harbaugh is going to bring that statement back to the Big Ten and Michigan. I thought the loser throughout the whole bowl system, I have to say, it has to be the SEC. They've had their invincibility pierced. They had a nice run since 2006. Doesn't mean they're going away or they're going to be bad. They're just going to have to re-earn it every year, and it's going to be almost impossible, I think, for any team to get two teams in the playoffs, nor should that ever happen again.
Since you played the position in the NFL, I want to ask you about Peyton Manning.
Yeah.
I know that it was a torn quad that he had that was revealed yesterday, but there was something that was going on the last month of the season with him. Is it more than just that? I'm going
to answer this kind of two ways. When I was watching Tom Brady and Flacco, and especially Aaron Rodgers play Saturday and Sunday, I actually texted my friend, and I go, I'm actually embarrassed to say I played the same thing that these guys. This is a whole, it's like going bowling on Saturday night and watch a professional bowler bowl 300. I mean, there's a difference, and I recognized it right away, okay? That's a whole different level, these elite quarterbacks. But I remember the end of my career. I think I had a 3-year extension on the table, and every time I had been hurt, and I had 5 surgeries playing when I played, the first thing that came to my mind when I got hurt is, okay, I'm going to rehab, I'm going to come back. But when I was 37, my last one, and Ernie Accorsi had just offered me a new 3-year contract, when I broke my ankle the last time, just striding into a pass, I knew I was done. I didn't think about coming back. I said, my body's breaking down.
Is Peyton done?
I don't know. He had a quad tear, and I just thought he had no legs underneath him this game. I think Peyton's going to evaluate. He's very smart about this stuff, and I just thought we did not see the true Peyton in that football game. But obviously, there was a lot of things behind the scenes that were going on. I mean, so I think Peyton should give it one more try, personally, assuming he thinks he can get healthy.
Thank you for your contributions this season, Gary. Enjoy the off season, and we'll talk to you later
Dan,
on.
if I could just take a second, I mean, a lot of stuff gets said on the show, but it's always the good questions that get the stuff out. I just don't come out here and give a speech. So thanks for probing and getting me in trouble when I do this show all the time, basically.
Thank you, Gary.
See you later.
All right, Gary Danielson from CBS Sports.